Hello Internet, so nice to see you. Some people like jazz, and some hate it.
Do you like jazz, Bud?
I'd rather lick a cheese grater.
Some even feel physical pain when listening to it, while others can't understand how people can be so blind or deaf to jazz beauty. I have a theory that explains why. Now, what are the common explanations for people who like or don't like jazz? Well, jazz haters say that jazz is dissonant and it's pretentious and it's disconnected, while jazz lovers think that haters are ignorant or lazy.
Jazz is like a beautiful woman. Complex, emotional, hard to please. She doesn't just give it to you, she makes you work for it.
So far, nothing new, and not even something special. Everything I said so far applies to literally every style of music.
I'm really hoping that you're going somewhere with this.
Yes, I am going somewhere. I am going to offend each and every one of you. Oh boy. See, everything I said above about jazz is true of literally any style. Rap, country, metal, classical, etc. Some people like it, some people don't like it. The people who like it can't believe other people don't like it. The people who don't like it can't believe some people like it, and all that. Liking or not liking a certain kind of music is something that is so immediate in our perception that we think it's an objective truth. But if we were able to step back from that, the real question would be, why people don't like all the music that is there? Why do we even have different preferences? See, a very obvious consideration, if you think about it, is that if some people listen to some kind of music, there must be something to that music. This music must communicate something to them. I mean, unless you want to assume that all people different from you are lazy or stupid, this is the only possible logical conclusion. Any kind of music has something to say. So why do we even have different preferences? Why we are not able to understand and enjoy all kind of music? Humor me for a minute and you'll see. The theory I'm gonna explain will tell you not only why you like some kind of music and not other, but will also show you how you can expand your horizon and learn to enjoy practically every kind of music. And also learn to enjoy your own kind of music much more. I'm assuming here you do want to enjoy music more and you do want to enjoy more music. If this is the case, keep watching. Now, this theory that explains why you like some music and not some other music, it's not all mine, I have to confess. I took bits and pieces of it from different sources, and a big part of it actually comes from a friend of mine. His name is Antonio Suriano. He has a blog called Ascolta e Pentiti, which in Italian means listen and repent. Most of the blog is in Italian, but there are some pages in English, and if you want to pay him a visit, I'd be grateful. Anyway, here's the theory. Now, we all know that music is made of elements. Stuff like melody and harmony and rhythm. Now, melody is pretty much everything you can sing. Harmony refers to chords and chord progression. Rhythm is how we separate different musical events in time. Those three are the most obvious, but for instance, the kind of sound, the timbre of sound, the tone, it's an element too, and there may be many other elements, but how many elements of music there are and what exactly they are, it's not important right now. I'm gonna explain everything as if there was only melody, harmony, and rhythm. The details are probably slightly wrong, but as we'll see, it's not important because you can always add more elements of music if you need. Now, a given piece of music probably has all three of them. If I listen to Mozart, for instance, there is definitely a melody, there is definitely a chord progression, and there is definitely a rhythm to the piece. If I listen to James Brown,
Get up off of that thing and dance to you better. Get up off of that thing.
there is a melody, there are chords, and there is a rhythm to the piece. At the same time, we must recognize that those two pieces of music use melody, harmony, and rhythm in completely different ways. So, to clarify what's happened, here are the two main points, the two axioms, if you want, of the theory of musical taste. Axiom number one. In a given piece of music, the elements of music can be used in two different ways. You can use an element of music to carry a message or the emotion of the music, or you can use an element of music to be supporting the other elements. For instance, and simplifying things a lot, in the Mozart piece, most of the emotion of the piece is carried by the melody. Melody is the carrier element in the Mozart piece, while harmony and rhythm are more scaffolding, are things that we use to support the melody, melody being the center of the piece of music. I know we can discuss this statement until the end of times, and some people are gonna argue that harmony is really important in the Mozart piece, and I'm not actually denying that harmony is important, but the thing that actually carries the emotion is the melody, not the harmony. The harmony serves to support the melody. In the James Brown piece, on the other hand, it's the rhythm that carries the emotion. What makes you feel in a specific way in the James Brown piece, it's the rhythm, the groove, the syncopation in the rhythm. Melody and harmony in this piece are used as supporting element. They are there to support a message carried by the rhythm. I'm going to refer to this distinction as the music spectral signature. Some music carry more emotion through melody, some music carry emotion through harmony, some music carry emotion through rhythm, and some music can even carry emotion by two or even all three of these elements. The trade-off here being that when music carries emotion using all three of those elements, the music is actually very simple because you cannot understand three messages at the same time unless they are really simple. More complex music tend to concentrate the message on one or two of those elements. Axiom number 2 of the theory of musical taste is that at any given moment, your ears are attuned only to some element. You may be attuned only to melody, only to rhythm, only to harmony, or again, you can be attuned to two or even all three of those elements. But if you are attuned to all three of those elements at the same time, it's gonna be a problem you're gonna see in a moment. So for instance, if in this moment your ear is attuned to melody and you listen to Mozart, Mozart will sound absolutely great, while James Brown will sound repetitive. Because the melody in there is repetitive, it's a supporting element and there is not much emotional content in there, so James Brown will sound quite poor. If instead your ear is tuned to receive the message from rhythm, Mozart will sound quite poor. It will sound all the same. It will sound like an endless grayness of boring music, while James Brown will sound great. If your ear instead is tuned to harmony, Mozart will sound okay. After all, there is a chord progression in there, but it will not sound exceptionally good. It will sound average or passable. And James Brown will sound quite poor because most of his music contains one or two chords, so it will sound pretty repetitive. But for instance, most jazz will sound great. Now, don't take this theory in a dogmatic way. Of course, all kinds of music use all those elements, and of course there is some emotion here and there, but in general, most kind of music tend to concentrate the emotion in one or two element. Now, of course, at this point, you'd like me to classify different styles of music using these three elements, using their spectral signature. We can do this only in an approximate way, because sometimes inside the same kind of music, there are different musicians doing different things. So, for instance, most Baroque and classical music, it's mostly melody with a little bit of harmony and not much rhythm. Most Romantic music is mostly harmony with some melody. Jazz is mostly harmony with some rhythm. Pop is mostly melody. Metal, strangely enough, it's mostly melody. Rap is mostly rhythm. But, for instance, if I go back to jazz, it's unfair to say that jazz is only harmony with a bit of rhythm, because, for instance, modal jazz tends to be mostly melody with a bit of rhythm and less harmony. The chords in there tend to be more static, and there is much more melodic development around the same tonal center, so most of the emotion is carried by the melodies and not by the harmony, that is, not by the chord progression. Again, we can discuss the precision of this statement until the end of time, so take this with a grain of salt and try to understand what I mean. The main feature of this theory is that there are different elements, however we identify them, and that we are attuned to some of those elements at a specific time. And from another point of view, while most pop is melodic, it turns out that if you really listen to it, pop communicates at all the three levels. It communicates very simple messages on melody, very simple messages on rhythm, and very simple messages on harmony, but it communicates at all three levels. If you're able to listen to all three elements at the same time, pop sounds much better than if you listen to only one. So for instance, if you are a jazz lover and you're listening to pop, then you're gonna hear only the harmonic and maybe the rhythmic part. And those two elements alone are gonna be boring to you because the message relayed there are really simple. But if you were able to turn off also your melodic perception and listen to all the three elements at the same time, pop will sound good. Conversely, if you are a pop listener, and so you're able to listen to all the three channels at the same time, but only with simple messages, when you listen to jazz that has a very complex message going to the harmonic channel, you're gonna be overwhelmed by that. You're not gonna find any melody to guide you, so this throws off all your reference point, and the harmonic part is simply too complex for you. So you are getting overwhelmed and the jazz sound dissonant to you. So the thing is this, if a message is too complex for you, you are overwhelmed and the message sounds dissonant, or it doesn't sound like music because it's simply too complex. If a message is too simple for you, the music is boring. But the thing is that it's not the music's fault, it's literally your fault. You are literally listening to that kind of music with the wrong ears. But this is not really a problem, because you can switch ear and then learn to listen to different kinds of music. Now, if this is the first time you do it, it can take days for you to switch ears. But if you've been doing this for a while, you can take this time down to seconds. You can literally learn to switch ear in seconds. And you can indeed even feel the difference of what it means to listen with the melody here or the rhythm here or the harmony here. Now, to switch ear, the only thing you need to do is to listen to music that uses the new things you want to develop, the new spectral signature you want to develop. But there are a couple of pitfalls there. For instance, I've seen a lot of people that listen to a lot of jazz and a lot of romantic music. Now, jazz is mostly harmony and rhythm. Romantic music is mostly harmony and melody. What happens if you listen to a lot of just those two styles is that you end up only with harmony, because the thing that all your music has in common is harmony, so eventually you actually lose sensitivity to melody, you lose sensitivity to rhythm, and then any kind of music that is too simple on the harmonic channel feels to you like incredibly boring and simple. So the solution here is to make sure that you listen to a balanced diet of music. So not only you need music that is high in melodic content or rhythm content or harmonic content, you also need music that is low in melodic content, low in rhythm content, and low in harmonic content, because if you never listen to anything that has no harmony, then your ear starts to think that harmony is the only thing to listen to music. And that explains, for instance, why there are so many music snobs out there. They got stuck in listening to only one of those elements, and they cannot get out of there. Everything that does not have their specific favorite element is simply not music for them. Now, that's the theory I have so far. If you want to discuss how to make this theory better, how to tighten up all the details, please do that in the comment. I'm honestly not gonna get offended if you like or don't like this theory. I'm not gonna get offended if you agree or not agree. That's what I thought so far. I'm pretty sure there is a lot of space for improvement in that theory. I'm pretty sure that there is a lot I don't know yet in that theory, so by all means, feel free to discuss all that. And this theory, it's open. Do something with that, see if it works for you, see if it helps you, and if it helps you, great, and if it doesn't help you, just ignore it, no problem. Now, if you happen to be a guitar player and you want to get better at some of those elements, I have some help for you. If you want to get better at melody, I suggest you take my course Master of the Modes, and if you want to get better at your harmony, I suggest you take my course Complete Chord Mastery. I honestly don't have much about rhythm right now, but hey, maybe in future. Anyway, those two courses have been made by guitar players, for guitar players. We study everything there is to know directly on the fretboard, and those courses are practical. They are full of exercises that you can do to learn how to apply theory in your actual music, to actually write music, compose music, improvise music, rearrange music, and do whatever you want. If you have a moment, click on the link on the top right and check out both Complete Chord Mastery and Master of the Modes. If you like this video, smash on that like button, don't forget to subscribe and click on notification, otherwise YouTube will not let you know when I put up a new video. And if you have any comment, feedback, suggestion, or you want to discuss all the theory I explained in this video, please do it down in the comment. I always read my comments, I enjoy reading from you, and I do new videos based on your suggestions. This is Tommaso Zilio of musictheoryforguitar.com, and until next time, enjoy!